each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too sad to say it. Inside, we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up, tell a lie and hurt you. 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 I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Get down, get down. I get knocked down, keep me knocked down. I get down, get down. I get knocked down, keep me knocked down. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Get down, get down. I get knocked down, keep me knocked down. I get down, get down. I get knocked down, keep me knocked down. You're never gonna keep me down.
What's up? How's everybody doing? How is life in your house with nobody around other than your parents? How is that going for you? We've been, this week has been a lot of hanging out at home. Not a lot to say. It was kind of funny today. Lauren at the table, she was like, "So, how was your day, Dad?" And it was good. And it was like, it was one of those conversations where it's like, hey, I don't know where this is going to go because we all know what we all did all day long. So anyway, welcome to youth group. We've got some fun things for you today. And so I was thinking it's been a little while now since we did Taylor Swift or Lamentations, all right? And so we are gonna start off today with Lamentations or Taylor Swift. I said it the other way, didn't I? Lamentations or Taylor Swift. And so how this game is played is that I'm gonna give you a line from either a song from Taylor Swift or it's a line from Lamentations. And your job in the comments below is to write what you think. If you think that's from the book of Lamentations, which is in the Bible, if you didn't know that's in the Old Testament, or if it's from Taylor Swift. Now here's the thing, no cheating, you cheaters. I know you're already online right now. You can just pop over. Don't do that. Do from your guts, or maybe from what you know if you're a big T Swift fan. But they're going to be up here on the screen. I'll say them out loud as well. And you got to text us. Tell us what you think this song is. All right, what do you think it's from? Either Lamentations or Taylor Swift. Here you go. First lyric is, she played fast and loose with life. She played fast and loose with life. And I'm going to have my cell phone here because you guys are a little lagging behind me. And so I'm going to make sure that I get the most up-to-date information as we're going through here as well. And so she played fast and loose with life. Jones, Lamentations. Anybody else? I see a bunch of you on there. What do you think it is? Lamentations, Sam. Okay. But he's got some dots. He's not so sure. Ooh, Amber says T Swift. Ooh, we have controversy now. Controversy. Uh-oh. Lamentations, T Swift. Anybody else want to comment on that? Going once. Going twice. All right, we'll see who it is. Lamentations 1:9. Now, I will say, just so you know, that these are actually mostly from the Message Bible, so they're going to be different. If you somehow you learned the KJV version, you're gonna be a little upset because these are from the Message. But anyway, all right, here we go. Next one. Ever seen pain like my pain? Seen what he did to me. Ever seen pain like my pain? Seen what he did to me. What do you think? Is that Lamentations or T Swift? Lamentations or T Swift? Ever seen pain like my pain? Seen what he did to me?
Wow.
What do we think? What do we think? T Swift. We got a T Swift. What else? Let's see. Anybody gonna... Oh, Lamentations. That's got a question mark. Brendan's not as sure on this one. But we do have a T Swift and we have a Lamentations. What else? Lamentations. It's been too long since I listened to T Swift. That's great. Yeah, thanks. All right, anyway, here we go. The answer to that is... I even have a special clicker. It's Lamentations 1:12. Lamentations 1:12. There you go. All right, that's a good one to know. You can go look that one up later. All right, how about this next one? It says, the light and noise are blinding. The light and noise are blinding. What do you think? Whose is that? Is that Lamentations or T Swift?
Mom.
Lamentations or T Swift? What do you think? Taylor Swift. Kara, it's definitely not Amber. It's definitely not. I'm just joking. I know you're saying hi to Amber that's on there anyway. T Swift. Oh, Anna comes in with a T Swift as well. Lamentations from Brendan. All right. Keep it going, guys. What else? Anybody else? T Swift or Lamentations? We got a few for both. Nobody? Going once? Going to... Oh, there's a Steve Hiddle with the Taylor Swift. All right. Well, let's see. The answer to the question of whether this is T Swift or Lamentations is... Oh, there you go. It's Taylor Swift. From New Romantics. Taylor Swift. Thanks, Taylor, for those great lyrics. All right, here we go. Next one. Here we go. I weep buckets of tears. Buckets of tears. What do you think? Is that T Swift or Lamentations? I weep buckets of tears. Swift. Or no, just Sift. Finally got one. All right, good job, Amber. T Swift. All right, let's see. Let's go. Anybody else? Lamentations. Oh, we got a new contender now, huh? Lamentations. All right. Who else? Lamentations. I have one T Swift for this one. What do we got? Lamentations. I weep buckets of tears. That definitely sounds like something T Swift would say, right? I mean, she's always talking about how terrible a relationship ended or whatever, right? All right, here we go. Anybody else? Last call. 3, 2, 1. Book of Revelation. Lamentations, not Revelation. Anyway, that would have changed the game completely if I threw out something like that, huh? No, it says they take their shots. They take their shots. See, now this one's tricky because they take their shots, like where that ends, it could mean a couple different things, shots, right? And so that could be, that could throw us off a little bit. So they take their shots. Is that Lamentations or is that T Swift? Lamentations or T Swift? Ooh, we got a bunch of T Swift coming out. People know this one, huh? People know this one. Everyone's saying T Swift, T Swift, T Swift. Uh-oh. All right, let's click. Let's see. You ready for this? Oh! Uh-oh. I don't think anybody said that. Taylor Swift. On I Know Places. I Know Places. They take their shots. I don't think anybody... Oh, no, everybody got that right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. It's both an option. Good job. All right, anyway. Taylor Swift. She said that. All right, here we go. Next one. Groaning in pain. I've had all I can take. Groaning in pain. I've had all I can take. Groaning in pain. I've had all I can take. What do you got? Groaning in pain. I've had all I can take. T Swift. T Swift. Uh-oh. There's going to be another bunch of T Swift votes, it looks like. All right. T Swift. T Swift. Everybody's saying T Swift on this one too, huh? Do you know this song? Groaning in pain. I've had all I can take. Oh, here's a couple Lamentations. All right. Lamentations. All right. Here we go. All right. No further waiting. Here we go. It is Lamentations 1:22 from Your Knife. Scars on my back from your knife. Now again, this one's like one of those where it could go either way, right? I mean, you've got scars on my back from your knife, so sometimes people talk about like metaphorically getting stabbed in the back, right? But then it also could be like literal scars on my back, because you don't really know the context, so it's really hard to do. So what do you think? Scars on my back from your knife. Is that Lamentations or is that Taylor Swift? Swift, says Sam Scheidler there. What's up? I'm getting motion from off camera. Hold on a second. Oh, my daughter says it's Taylor Swift. She had to vote, all right? So that sounds brutal. That is right, Brendan. It does sound brutal, yes. Really confident from Sam, all right? Anybody else? Last call. 3, 2, 1. Bad Blood. T Swift.
I knew it.
Scars on my back from your knife. My daughter says she knew it, so she's heard this song before. I'm pretty sure that's the point in the song where she always go, "Ew, that's gross."
Yeah.
Pretty sure every time. Yeah, that's what you do, isn't it? All right, very good. That was it. That was Lamentations or Taylor Swift lyrics. So thank you for all taking part in that. I hope you had fun with that. We'll do more of those another time. I've got pages and pages of these because Taylor Swift has always got those lyrics that just feel like, I don't know where this could go anyway. All right. Anyway, all right, well, let's keep moving. Just a reminder that we do online youth group on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock, and we also do them on Wednesday nights at 6:30. Maggie leads the one on Wednesday night. I'm leading the one on Sunday night, and so love for you guys to tune in. So my daughter has done a containment suit. You remember 2 weeks ago I challenged you to make containment suit and to send me a picture of it or a video of it. Last week, Dylan and Amber sent in some stuff. So here is my daughter explaining her containment suit to us.
Hi, this is Lauren's containment suit.
Uh-oh.
This is the filter. Here I have Hanson. So, it's so good so that you can wash your hands without touching the soap dispenser at a public place. The hand sanitizer so you can wash off. I have an extra hand
All right,
sanitizer.
hold on. Sorry. She talks really softly, so I'm going to restart that and let her try that again because she talks really softly and I could not hear anything she said. Even in the room, I couldn't hear anything she said. So here you go.
Hi, this is Lauren's containment suit video. This is to filter air. You don't want to breathe other people's air. And then over here I have hand sanitizer and soap. The soap is so that you can wash your hands without touching a soap dispenser at a public place. The hand sanitizer so you can wash off. I have an extra hand sanitizer just in case. I have a walkie-talkie for moving. And it protects me from other people. Oh no. Sassy! Sort of.
Somehow 6 feet in the house, you just can't do that, right? All right. Sorry. So maybe you have siblings around you as well that it is quarantine would be much different without some of our own bedrooms, right? All right. Let's just go to those for a minute. All right. Anyway, so just give you a couple more things you can jump into during the week. Again, let me just say as well, feel free if you have a containment suit video, you build your own containment suit, send it to us. No matter how goofy it is, we'll show it up here as well. And so you can see that was Lauren. It kind of looked like an elephant thing going on there. So anyway, all right, Fridays at noon, Instagram Live. Amber is leading us in a study of Not a Fan. It's an incredible book by Kyle Idleman, he brought it out a few years ago, and they've made it into a really cool series that you can go through. But imagine your life if you were able to be a follower of Jesus rather than just a fan. It's so easy to kind of sit on the sidelines in the stands and not actually engage with what's going on. And so Amber is leading such a great story. I encourage you, if you have Instagram, jump on there Fridays at noon. Make sure you're following the student ministry on there as well, and we'd love for you to come and be a part of that too. It's going really well, and so lots of interaction happening. It's really cool. Next thing is the U effect, excuse me. So last couple weeks we've been going through Fear is a Lie on our Bible app, and we've been going through that kind of as a whole group. And so we have also started a new one because that one ended. It was only 2 weeks long. And so we started the next one. It's called The You Effect. And I encourage you, if you don't know what that is, you can search for it, The You Effect, and just do it on your own. If you would like to be part of our group as well, just text either Maggie or I, and we will add you in as well. And it started on yesterday, I think it was. It's already been a great first couple days. And so I encourage you, jump in. It's not too late. You can always jump in. And I encourage you, it's going to be a really good series. And as they say all the time on YouTube. And we'd love to make sure that you get all the notifications of what's going to be happening here at Online Youth Group in the future. So I'm gonna kind of do some worship now, as we usually do. And so if you know these songs, feel free to sing along at your home. I know it might be awkward, maybe your family's there, whatever. But let's be honest. How many things have they done that have annoyed you the last 3 weeks? So you can stand in wherever you're at, and you can sing as loud as you want, and you can annoy the people around you because, hey, that's what we do during quarantine, right? Anyway, all right. So we're going to sing a couple songs, and I encourage you guys to just kind of settle your hearts, settle your minds, and let's worship a little bit together, all right? And I know the words aren't going to be on the screen behind me, and so if you want to look them up on your phone or whatever, you're welcome to look up the lyrics real quick. We're going to do Our God, and then after that, we're going to do Death Was Arrested, excuse me. And so feel free, you can go ahead and pull those lyrics up, and you can sing, and put me in the background. That's A-okay, all right? So let's sing, all right?
None like
God, you are the healer, and you are greater than everything that we have around us, God. And so, God, I pray that as we continue to sing and as we open your word today, God, I pray that you would just guide and direct our time together. I pray, God, that as we open your word, God, that you would speak into our lives. Even though we're in different houses and different places in our lives right now, God, I pray that you would just meet us right where we're at. And that even though we can't physically meet together, God, we are meeting together and worshiping you in these times. And so, God, I pray that you would just guide and direct this as we move forward. Let's pray these things in your name. Father, thank you so much that death was arrested. And that, God, this week, today we celebrate Palm Sunday, and this week Easter, God, I'm thankful that you were there. That you didn't leave us in the state of death, but God, that you came and that you rescued us, and thank you for that. God, I pray that you would guide and direct our time tonight together, just as we open the Word to Psalms. God, I pray that you'd be here with us, and I pray, God, that you would just enter into our hearts and let us see what it is to really, truly live in the freedom that you bring, God. Thank you very much. Pray these things in your name. Amen. All right. So tonight we are going to talk a little bit about lament, all right? And so as I was so I know all of us we're going through this, and it's a really difficult time for some of us, right? And maybe there's been different points in your life right now where this has been harder to take than other times, right? Where, you know, we have this kind of sickness that's out there, and it's a little scary for some of us. And then school gets closed, and then stores get closed, and all these things start getting closed. And not only that, but then you are told to shelter in place at your home, and it becomes to be a lot, right? And it can be scary, and it can be frustrating, and it can just be a hard time. And, you know, and for me specifically, you know, I was pretty good with all of that stuff until I realized about a week ago just what it means for me, and specifically for youth ministry. So you think about, so I don't know if you know this, I've been doing student ministry for about 20 years. I graduated high school in 2000, and then me and Robin, my wife, we both became interns in youth group almost immediately. And we did student ministry through there until my youth pastor went and planted a church, and then I became the youth director there. I went to school for it, and then I've worked at a couple other churches. And so for about 20 years, I have been highly invested in student ministry. And so this year, I was also announced that I'm going to be transitioning out of student ministry and doing something with life groups and that sort of thing. And so so this was kind of like my last year where it's my thing before I transition out and give it to the next person to do. And then for it to end like this, it's been really hard. Like it's been one of those things where I've had to really think and really digest that my student ministry time is now going to be spent, a lot of it online, and so it's been a little difficult. And so my wife, as I was telling her what I was going to talk about tonight, my wife was like, "Oh man, I haven't even thought about that yet." And so she's now in the lament period as well of the weirdness that my transition already was going to have, and then to have the change of what it is right now, it's been really hard to take. And so I was also thinking, though, there are many of you at home that this transition's been hard for you too. I don't know what you've been transitioning from anyway in your life, but then to have kind of this shutdown of everything around you has been really difficult. Specifically, I was thinking about, I know my senior class this year, I feel so bad for you guys. You know, many of us, we were playing sports and activities and things like that, but this was your senior year, man. You know, you think about the 12th grade, like this is it. You were going to finish out, and so you wanted to finish strong. You wanted to do baseball and softball and the last plays of the year. You wanted to have prom. You wanted to have graduation, as it's always been. Graduation parties, like all those things that you were planning on doing and excited for. And to some extent, I mean, I know we haven't completely closed down the school year for the rest of the year, but it's looking more and more like that's what's going to happen, as other states have already done that. I know I have a friend who's a teacher in Arizona, and they've already canceled the school for the rest of the school year. And so my guess is that will be coming at some point. And so there's a sadness that's there, and I feel like it's really important for us as people that no matter if it's sadness out of things that you've lost out on, sadness over maybe you had stuff that was already happening before all this happened, and this is just adding to whatever's going on in your life. But it can be really easy just to keep moving along, because that's what we say, right? You pull yourself up by your bootstraps, keep moving, and never really take the time to really, I guess, mourn kind of what's going on and what you've lost out on. And so tonight we're going to talk about this idea of lament, all right? And so we did Lamentations and Taylor Swift earlier. If you don't know, the Bible is full of a whole bunch of different incredible stories that are inside of it. But even more than that, there is pretty much every type of genre of writing involved in the Bible. And so you can find poetry, and you can find songs, and you can find history, and you can find scientific type stuff. Like all kinds of those different type of things are inside the Bible. And one of the things that's written about often is lament. And lament is where somebody shares, like, these are the things that I'm struggling with. And oftentimes, because it's the Bible, but also a lot of times it's directed at God. And I know for me in this time, and I know I've reading other people's feeds and even talking to people, there's a lot of question about, like, where is God in this time? Like, if God is so powerful, and if he loves us, and if we're supposed to believe him, then where is he in these moments when it feels like we're all alone? Like, where is God in these moments where it seems like we really need someone who can fix the things that are going on in the world around us? And so a lament oftentimes are people coming to the realization that they need that God. They need God to be who God is in their life. And so they're crying out to God, saying, God, where are you? And why don't I see you? And so if you have your Bibles, I'm going to use my phone here. But if you have your Bibles, we're going to look at a passage. It's in Psalms. It's Psalms 4. And if you don't know, the Psalms are written by several different people, but mainly most of them are attributed to David, who was a king of Israel. And so this one specifically is given to David as well. And so it's Psalm 4, and it says this. It's only 8 verses long. It's not very long. And we're going to read in the NIV version here, okay? And it says this. It says, "Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you people turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. Tremble and do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous and trust in the Lord. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." So we're going to kind of walk our way through this to kind of talk through what is lament and how to actually do that. And then at the very end, we're going to talk through what that would look like for you to do a lament on your own as well. All right. So I've got some things that are going to pop up here on the screen. You'll also see the verse that kind of goes with that, or the verses that we just read. And so the first thing is there's always an introduction. All right. The address, right? And so 4:1 says, "Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer." And so David, the writer of this psalm, he's addressing this directly to God. He's saying, God, I want you to listen to what I have to say. And so God being the good God, and we know throughout the Bible that time and time again, God said he never leaves us or forsakes us. And so he's going to listen in to what David has to say. And when we do our own laments, and when we're in our space like this that David is in, he listens to us as well. So let's keep going. It says that then he gives the main complaint, right? How long will you people turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? And so at this time, David is just heartbroken over the people around him who seem to consistently go after the wrong gods. And so we can talk about gods and that sort of thing and what they were going after. But understand that worshiping a god is giving fear or allegiance to something that's other than the God of the universe who created everything. And so for their time, they had a bunch of different ones like Baal and different gods like that they would worship. Today, we don't necessarily do that exactly, but our gods are oftentimes technology or money or fame or all of those sort of things are all different gods that we go after as well. And so David is saying, why is everyone so focused on all these other things when they should be focused on God? And so that's how David starts off his lament today. And then he goes into this kind of confession of trust. So he's going to say, like, this is where people would say, this is who I trust or why I trust something. He says, know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. And so he moves from this declaration of what's going on in his life to saying, this is why I'm going to do this as well. So understand, if you're going to write a lament to God, you've got to believe that God is going to do something with it, right? And so that's where this confession of trust comes from, is that the Lord hears when I call him. Because why would I write a lament to a God who's not going to hear me? And why would I do that? It wouldn't make any sense. And so he says that I'm going to write this to the God who actually hears what we have to say, and I'm going to know that God is faithful to do what he wants, and I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to be the faithful servant as well. And so when we're trying to lament, we've got to make sure that we're lamenting to somebody who's actually going to respond to it, or else it's kind of pointless, right? It's just kind of saying words out loud, and no one's actually listening, and that's not fun. Next part is the deliverance, prayer for deliverance. It says, tremble and do not sin. When you are on your bed, search your hearts and be silent. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous and trust in the Lord. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. So here's David's this is the nitty gritty of what he's looking for from God, right? And so he says, search your hearts and be silent. Offer sacrifices of righteousness and trust in the Lord. So he wants everybody to pause and reflect and figure out who God is, and to actually worship the God of the universe and not the God of themselves or the God of whatever they're going after right now. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? And I think to some extent, even though we wouldn't say that we're worshiping gods necessarily, that's oftentimes the question that we're looking for, right? Who's going to make me prosperous, right? And even in this time when we have some economic uncertainty right now, we're asking, how are we going to fix everything, right? And make it economically feasible again for everybody. And that's exactly what David's asking as well. Let the light of your face shine on us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. You know, and David's situation specifically, he was seeing people who weren't following God get prosperity as well. And how often is that in my life? That's difficult, right? When you see people who are deceiving others or are profiting off of things that they shouldn't be profiting off of, it gets really frustrating when you're like, I'm doing all the right things and I'm barely making it, and this guy over there, he's doing all the wrong things and he seems to be super prosperous. And so that's what David's talking about as well, is help me with my own attitude, with my own jealousy, with my own vision of how things are supposed to go. Help me deal with that when I see other people who are doing it the wrong way and getting prosperous off of that. And then he closes out, I was right. There's one more. What'd I do? Sorry, there we go. I skipped it. Sorry about that. So, anyway, there's a praise at the end as well, that he knows that God is gonna see this through. And it says, in peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell safely. And so at the end, David knows that God is going to be the one who is going to make all of this right. And so he praises God for that. He says, thank you that you're the one who's going to make me able to sleep at night and be able to know that you are right there beside me. And so there's these 5 things that make up the lament that we're walking through. There's kind of this introduction, this main complaint, this confession of trust, this prayer for deliverance, and this praise. And so I was thinking, in my own life, there are so many times where I feel something, like I feel pain, I feel anger, I feel whatever, and I kind of either push that down in, or I just shout it out in places where it's not helpful. And maybe that's how you are as well, where it seems like you have these moments where it's like, I need to get rid of this, and you just kind of push it down in there into this ball, into this mass inside of you, and it never gets dealt with, and then you just continue going on with life, and you just have this inside of you, right? And then it comes out every once in a while when you don't really want it to, maybe on that same person or on somebody else. And so I just encourage you, what would it be like in your life to really, truly work through some of these things? And for David, it's laments. It's literally writing down what you're thinking and feeling. And so we're going to kind of close down here in just a couple minutes, but I want to give you kind of a lament challenge. It's the end of Lent, which is our season where we spend a lot of time thinking about what Jesus did, right? And so maybe you've been getting the daily devotional from Heritage, or maybe you've been doing the student devotional. We've been trying to make sure that people are focusing their time and effort and energy on things that are going to make them go deeper with who Jesus is. One of those things that I think is super important to understand, especially when you're young, so that when you get older, you don't continue to just bottle up, because that's not helpful for anybody, is to get that out. And especially those questions, oftentimes people forget that God is really big, and there is nothing that you can say that's going to surprise him or make him angry when you're lamenting to him. And so there's all of those things that you've been thinking, what if you decided that you're going to sit down and you're going to write down and write out those problems to God, just like David did. And so there's kind of a couple things I'd like for you guys to do this week. And so number one is the lament challenge, all right? So there's these 5 parts of what a lament is. You can see those are right there. So intro, the main complaint, the confession of trust, the prayer of deliverance, and the praise. All right. You can look at Psalm 4 for ideas of how that's set up as well. You can go back to that because that was Psalm 1, Psalm 4:1, Psalm 4:2, Psalm 4:3, 4 through 7, and then 8. All right. There's an entire book called the Book of Lamentations that is also set up similarly to this as well. So go through, think about through those sort of things. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down with just a piece of paper, not a computer, not anything else around you, no phones or anything else like that. Just a piece of paper. I want you just to pray, God, I want you to give me accuracy and focus in this moment. And specifically focus about what is making you upset at that moment. And then what I want you to do is I want you just to pray and pray that out loud to God even, or in your head, whatever works better for you. And then I just want you to write down everything that comes to your mind. And so curse words, regular words, whatever, verbally vomit onto the page with your pen, all right? So maybe not verbally, but you know what I mean. Write it all down, all right? So write it all down, and then kind of look through that through themes. And then I want you to try to refine that down and get it into something that fits into what you would call a lament. So an intro, all these sort of parts right here. Get it into something and then put it somewhere where it's important to you and you can remember that. And so maybe that's someplace, maybe you're okay with people seeing it, so you put it up on your wall somewhere so you see it often. Maybe it goes in a notebook somewhere. Maybe you have a journal that you keep, and so you can put something like that in there. But I encourage you to take the time to just sit there and say, God, something is bugging me and I need to get this out. And God is always faithful to move us through those situations and help us get some of those words out. So I encourage you to do that. If you feel good enough to share it as well. So I don't know if you remember high school a couple months ago, Andrew Shearer, it's probably a couple years ago now, Andrew Shearer shared about his own lament as well. And it was so good for him to be able to share that out to our group. And so if that's something that you would like to share as well, you can either send it to me and I can read it, or you can make a video and send it to me and we can show it. I'd love to start getting, me and Maggie would both love to start getting some testimonies or interaction for people on here as well. And so if that's something you like to do, of just like, I wrote this down and I would like to share it, then we will absolutely, I'll play it up here for us as well and make this part of what we do regularly. So I hope and pray that you guys are finding spaces and places where you can find some community. We're going to come up with some ways after Easter to start doing Zoom meetings and that sort of thing as well, so you can actually connect and interact with people. But this week is going to be awesome with Easter coming up and that sort of thing. And so write your lament. Next week we don't have group on Sunday night. We will have it on Wednesday night though, so you can come check that out. And love to have you there. I'm going to pray. If you have any more prayer requests or whatever, please put them in the comments as we leave here. But have a great Easter week, and we'll see you soon. So let me pray. God, thank you that you have given us your ear. That God, that you haven't left us. That God, that when we have things in our lives that we need to just get out, that are bubbling under the surface, God, that you are right there to hear us. God, I know that there are lots of hurt and feelings that are inside of me. I know there's lots of hurt and feelings that are inside of a lot of other people right now. And so, God, I pray that we would be a group that's really good at engaging you with our laments. And so, God, I pray that this week you would give us time and space to do that, that maybe a writing project for school, whatever else, maybe this just fits right into it. God, I pray that you would just guide and direct us this week as we move toward Easter. God, that we would remember how incredible it is that Jesus died and rose again for me and for everybody on this channel and everybody in the world, God, that you would do that for us. And so, God, I pray that we'd be able to focus on that this week. God, thank you. We pray that you would just continue to fill our lives with your spirits and that we would just sense your presence. Just pray this in your name. Amen. So thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon. If you have any more prayer requests, feel free. You can comment or direct link to us, or you can DM us as well. And have a great night.